Have you ever caught yourself scrolling through your social media profile and wondering, who am I really showing the world? Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. In our modern age, that fate may be playing out through curated feeds and carefully chosen photos. Yet beneath each hashtag and every attention-grabbing caption, there might be something more profound at work. Hello and welcome. Before we dive in, if you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel to explore the depths of psychology together and uncover insights that help us become more authentic versions of ourselves. Today, we're looking at why we so often present a certain persona online and how it may be guided by archetypes deeply rooted in our psyche. At first glance, you might think that the persona you show on your favorite platform is just a highlight reel or the version of you that you want the world to see. However, Jung's work suggests that there is a larger, unseen framework shaping that persona. We don't simply invent ourselves in isolation. We are subtly influenced by universal patterns of behavior and thought, known as archetypes. Think of them like timeless templates that express themselves in stories, myths, and even your daily social media interactions. Many of us have grown up with the belief that if we just act a certain way, more confident, more caring, funnier, or more daring, then we'll draw people in. But is that really just a conscious strategy, or might we be playing out an inner script that's older than we can imagine? You might find your online presence slipping into the mentor role, offering advice to those who follow you, or you might adopt the hero stance, showcasing your victories, or perhaps you unconsciously take on the caregiver archetype, making sure everyone else's needs are met. In every post, comment, and selfie, these archetypal energies might be guiding how you filter and display your life. The question is this a bad thing, or can it serve as a profound gateway to self-awareness? By paying attention to the patterns beneath your Instagram captions or your YouTube vlogs, you can awaken to deeper truths about who you truly are. Stay tuned, because we're going to examine how these archetypes come alive in your digital presence, what that means for your personal growth, and how to make conscious choices about the persona you show the world. If you feel a spark of curiosity or a bit of tension stirring, you're exactly where you need to be. Let's embark on this journey to uncover which archetypes may be shaping your life, online and beyond. Every time you log in, there's a dynamic interplay between your conscious choices and something more ancient, the collective unconscious. In Jung's view, our personal unconscious is only part of the story. We're also connected to shared images and symbols that have been carried across generations. This collective unconscious holds the archetypes, the hero, the caretaker, the trickster, the sage, and countless others that have defined human experience for centuries. When you post a story where you position yourself as the savior in a social cause, or when you frame your daily life as a dramatic quest for transformation, you might be tapping into the hero archetype. On a surface level, it might just be you feeling inspired to help others or push your own limits. But deeper down, it's as though the hero within you is taking center stage, eager to carry out its universal narrative. Let's consider a real-world example. Imagine a close friend who started as a quiet, reserved individual. Over time, their social media turned into a platform for motivational speeches, self-help pointers, and empowering quotes. On the outside, it might look like a simple shift in interest. On the inside, they may be unconsciously drawn to the mentor or sage archetype, helping others seek wisdom, even if they're still figuring things out themselves. This isn't necessarily deceitful. Instead, it can be an expression of a deeper urge to guide and uplift, an urge that resonates with the universal mentor archetype we've seen in countless myths and real-life stories. Another supporting concept here is the persona itself. Jung used the term persona to describe the social mask we all wear, how we present ourselves to fit in, to gain approval, or to protect ourselves. Online, this persona can become amplified. We sculpt, filter, and edit the facets of ourselves that we want to show. You may notice that certain traits become repeated themes. Perhaps your feed is all about positivity and light, because you feel drawn to the caregiver archetype, focusing on offering emotional support and comfort to those around you. Or you might find yourself broadcasting ambition and success, embodying a warrior or ruler archetype who thrives on accomplishments and recognition. There's no shame in wanting to appear strong, wise, or caring. The question is whether you're doing so consciously, with full awareness of these influences, or if these patterns have taken hold of you without your noticing. One aha moment comes when you realize that these archetypal motifs might be fueling not just your digital presence, but also the core themes of your life. If you've always taken on the role of the caretaker, you might consistently be the person who organizes gatherings, checks in on everyone's well-being, and never says no to requests. Online, that might translate to frequent posts about community, empathy, or volunteerism. Yet in your private moments, you could feel drained or overlooked, as though your identity is consumed by the needs of others. Suddenly, you see that your social persona is more than a conscious choice. It's a reflection of an archetype you've unknowingly merged with. In reflecting on these patterns, you might ask yourself, do I choose this online identity, or am I following a script? That single question can spark a cascade of self-discovery. Beneath the curated timeline lies an entire realm of desires, fears, and universal instincts that have existed long before social media ever came to be. Rather than being a puppet of unconscious forces, you can choose to become the puppeteer. But first, you need to recognize the strings. A crucial step in this awakening is to observe your own emotional responses. Notice if you feel excited, validated, or even uneasy when you project a certain image. Let these feelings guide you to the archetypal energy at play. For instance, if you frequently feel a surge of pride when people praise your motivational posts, you might be fulfilling the mentor archetype's need for recognition as a guide. Or if you post a high-drama story about your personal struggles and feel oddly satisfied by the empathetic messages you receive, you may be unconsciously channeling the wounded healer archetype, inviting others to witness your pain so it becomes a shared journey. Now, how do we integrate this awareness into practical change? One approach is to explore self-reflective journaling about your online activity. Each time you create a post or comment, ask yourself, which part of me wrote this? You might discover a caretaker offering advice, a hero seeking to conquer personal limitations, or a trickster stirring controversy. This mindful observation helps you discern whether these archetypes are operating with or without your permission. Over time, you can make choices that feel more aligned with your genuine self, rather than a role you've unconsciously adopted. If the idea of these universal templates shaping your online self sounds a bit daunting, consider the metaphor of a mirror in a grand ancient hall. Each mirror reflects a different aspect of you, yet all are connected to the same deeper reality. When you choose which mirror to stand before, you choose which facets get reflected. The key is to see that the mirrors, the archetypes, aren't there to trap you, but to help you become aware of the countless possibilities for who you can be. Another important dimension is how these archetypal drives can create certain expectations or pressures from your audience. Picture the influencer who feels locked into their brand's image. They might be known for sharing comedic takes on everyday life, but deep inside they long to explore more serious content. Their audience, however, expects constant humor. It's as though the trickster archetype has taken the stage and refuses to let the sage archetype have a turn. This tension can lead to burnout or even identity confusion. To alleviate that, it's crucial to integrate all parts of ourselves, the playful, the wise, the vulnerable, so we don't become psychologically stuck in one pattern. Sometimes the biggest aha emerges when you realize just how universal these experiences are. You're not alone in feeling the push and pull between your genuine self and the role you assume online. It's a human experience that countless people share, tying directly into Jung's concept of the collective unconscious. Our ancestors told stories about gods and goddesses who represented the same archetypes we're expressing now. In those myths, characters navigated quests, faced their shadows, and found redemption. On social media, we too navigate public perception, confront our shadows when criticized, and occasionally find redemption in supportive communities. Let's consider another real-world example. A young entrepreneur whose entire online identity is built around success. They post about achievements, business tips, and unstoppable energy. Everyone sees them as the unstoppable warrior. Yet behind the scenes, this person might be deeply fearful of failure and constantly anxious about losing that warrior edge. By recognizing the archetype they've embraced, they can also make space for vulnerability. They can open up about the lessons learned from mistakes or the challenges of balancing ambition with self-care. That integrated approach not only enriches their public persona, but also nurtures their inner well-being. You might ask, do I need to change my online identity completely? Not necessarily. What truly matters is whether you're playing these roles with conscious intention. Archetypes can be powerful allies when you partner with them, rather than let them run the show. For instance, if you recognize that the wise mentor archetype helps you share valuable insights, you can continue to use that energy, but also remember you're more than just the teacher. You can be the perpetual learner too. The real magic lies in fluidly moving among archetypes, allowing your full humanity to be expressed. A practical step to achieve this fluidity is to periodically cleanse your digital environment by reviewing what you've posted over the last month or year. Note patterns in your tone, topics, or the self-image you project. Ask yourself, is there another aspect of me that I've been neglecting? Maybe you want to experiment with creating content that speaks to your sense of humor, or your thoughtful side, or your love for art. By doing so, you break the narrow mold of any single archetype and bring more wholeness to your digital footprint. Another method is to share something a bit more vulnerable every now and then, even if it's just a personal reflection or a thought on a challenging day. Vulnerability creates room for authenticity. It's like stepping off a stage for a moment and speaking directly to your audience. In that small act, you reclaim your right to be multidimensional. You might be surprised at how much deeper your connections become when people see different facets of who you are. It's also worth mentioning that some of the pressure to perform a certain persona online can come from family, friends, or the communities we belong to. If your family sees you as the caregiver, you might feel an unstated obligation to keep that identity even in your digital life. Or if your social circle has labeled you the adventurous risk-taker, you might keep pushing to post more and more daring content. This is where the concept of individuation, another key Jungian idea, becomes relevant. Individuation is the process of integrating all parts of yourself into a cohesive whole. It involves recognizing the influences that family and society exert and deciding for yourself which influences you want to honor and which you need to outgrow. One reflection point you might explore is, who would I be if nobody was watching? Imagining a scenario where no one sees your social media or your life can reveal the qualities you truly care about. If you're naturally drawn to creativity, you might find yourself painting more or writing stories that never see the light of day. If compassion is at your core, you might devote your time to helping a neighbor or volunteering in a way that never makes it to your feed. Such reflections can give you clues about the archetypes that genuinely resonate with your soul, independent of public applause. Let's look at one more real-life example. Consider a person who consistently updates their status with comedic skits, witty one-liners, and light-hearted banter. Everyone loves them for the laughs, but deep down, they feel overshadowed by their own humor. They yearn to be taken seriously in their academic field. They worry that if they shift gears, people might not respond with the same enthusiasm. Recognizing that the trickster archetype has dominated their persona offers a chance for a conscious pivot. They can gradually introduce more serious content while still maintaining their natural gift for wit. This balance doesn't have to happen overnight. Small intentional steps can transform both their external expression and internal experience. That realization is an aha moment of liberation. Sometimes what we need most is to step back and appreciate that these archetypes, hero, mentor, trickster, caregiver, warrior, are universal human themes. They're not labels meant to confine us, but rather doorways to deeper aspects of ourselves. You have every right to shift from hero to caregiver, from trickster to sage, from student to mentor as life unfolds. When you awaken to the archetypal undercurrents shaping your online presence, you gain the power to choose which waves you ride and which to let pass. Now, if you're finding value in this exploration, remember to hit the like button or share this content with someone who might be intrigued by these ideas. The more we spread these psychological insights, the more people can begin to navigate their inner world with clarity and confidence. As we move toward integrating these ideas, a powerful metaphor might help. Imagine you're standing in a great library filled with infinite books. Each book is an archetype, a universal storyline. You have the freedom to check out any book, read it, learn from it, and return it. You're not obligated to carry just one storyline forever. Likewise, your online persona can reflect the chapter you're living now without trapping you in a single role for the rest of your days. The moment you realize you're free to explore another storyline is the moment you can truly expand your sense of self. This leads to a major transformation possibility. You can evolve from an automatic reenactor of archetypal scripts into a conscious creator of your personal narrative. By blending your real experiences with the age-old templates of the collective unconscious, you shape a life that feels both intimately unique and universally connected. You stop being a mere bystander to your own online presence, and you become the director of your digital stage. One practical application is to set aside a short archetype inventory session once a month. During that session, reflect on what roles you have been projecting lately. Write them down. Caretaker, hero, rebel, caregiver, trickster. Evaluate how each role has served you or hindered you. Then decide which new archetype you want to lean into for growth. It might be the lover, inviting more warmth and emotional connection, or the sage, focusing on wisdom and deeper understanding. By doing this regularly, you exercise your freedom to embody different layers of your humanity. Another application involves mindful interaction with comments and reactions. When someone praises or criticizes you, notice which archetype inside you responds. Do you slip into the defensive warrior? Or do you become the wounded child seeking reassurance? Simply noticing this dynamic can create the space you need to choose a healthier, more integrated response. As you continue awakening to these patterns, keep in mind that self-awareness is a gradual process. Sometimes just recognizing that a single post was guided by a particular archetype is enough to create a breakthrough. Over time, you'll notice that what once felt like an unconscious compulsion, I have to post this way because it's who I am, becomes a conscious preference. I choose to share this side of me because it's part of who I truly want to be. Before we wrap up, let's bring together the core insights and set you on a practical path forward. Jung's primary concept of archetypes reminds us that our digital personas may not be as spontaneous or purely personal as we think. We're influenced by universal patterns like the hero, mentor, caregiver, trickster, and more. Supporting ideas like the persona, the collective unconscious, and individuation reveal how our social media roles can become either a path to self-discovery or a trap of public expectation. In real terms, we saw how an influencer can feel stuck in the trickster role. An entrepreneur might be caught in the warrior archetype, or a reserved individual might suddenly take on the mentor's persona online. Our examples remind us that there's real-life evidence of these forces at play everywhere we look. By keeping a journal, setting aside regular self-reflection time, and experimenting with expressing different sides of ourselves, we take practical steps to integrate our online life with our authentic being. So here's the big takeaway. It's not about dismantling your online presence or labeling archetypes as bad. It's about understanding that these ancient patterns are shaping you, so you can consciously participate in your growth. You can still post those motivational quotes or comedic videos. Just do so with a clearer awareness of which parts of your psyche are stepping up to the spotlight. If you're interested in going deeper, try this for the next week. Every time you post, pause and ask yourself, which archetype is influencing me right now? You might experience an immediate sense of clarity or even a wave of vulnerability. Either way, it's a sign you're stepping into a more conscious role in your life story. Let's close by bringing it all together in a final invitation. We've journeyed from unconscious impulses to conscious choices, shedding light on how archetypes may be guiding that persona you show online. Each of us has the potential to wake up from autopilot and become an active co-creator of our identities, both on and off the screen. If you found yourself intrigued or inspired by any part of this exploration, we invite you to join our community. Subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and connect with others who are on the same path of self-discovery. By supporting one another, we build a space where personal insight can flourish and become a collective awakening. Remember, you are more than any one role and more than any single storyline. You are a dynamic being who holds the power to shift from one archetype to another as life unfolds. Today might be the day you stop merely posting and start truly expressing your authentic self. Thank you for sharing this journey. We look forward to hearing about the revelations, triumphs, and even the struggles that arise as you explore your online persona with fresh eyes. Take a moment to reflect on what we've discussed and embrace the possibility that a deeper, more genuine, and more liberated version of you is ready to shine, both on screen and in the world beyond.